What's up everybody, Harry here. I want to tell you a little story and as a follow-up to the previous video. And in that video I discussed how I helped my brother-in-law fix the stuttering on his new PC for Battlefield 6. But what I said worked in that video and fixed the problem for him, which was to use a user.cfg file to reduce the high CPU usage. The stuttering came right back after that video and everything was still unplayable. I knew he wasn't getting the best CPU and GPU around. It was still a lot better than his laptop, and with a Ryzen 5 3600 and a Radeon RX 6600 XT, he should be running this game no problem. So what is up with the stutters? I mean, look, he even got really good frames on 1080p all medium settings. And after helping him optimize his settings, sometimes we'd reach even 110 or 120 FPS, but the stuttering didn't stop. And it's a little bit weird. I thought about removing the previous video. Everything I said in that video is still valid. He did technically have a CPU bottleneck, but the CPU wasn't the problem. It took me a while to figure out what actually was the root cause of this problem. I was at a point where I was actually sending him links for good priced second-hand CPUs that were better than the one he just bought. Because I mean, look, his CPU is consistently in the red, so it's obvious that his CPU is processing slower and can't keep up with the GPU, and it totally ruined his experience. So obviously the CPU is the problem, right?
You are 100% wrong.
But then I asked, bro, what is your RAM speed? I can't believe I didn't think about this earlier. I do blame the guy that sold him the PC though, for not telling him this guy's a PC builder as well. But with this newfound information, I knew exactly how to fix it. After gently removing the old RAM, he dropped in 2 new sticks of RAM running at 3200 megahertz. Wouldn't you know it, the stuttering completely disappeared. So okay, the RAM speed was too slow, but let's break down what actually went wrong. Technically, the RAM was bottlenecking the CPU. The reason we saw the CPU turn red is that the performance metrics in Battlefield 6 doesn't show if RAM is the problem. Instead, they measure what the CPU is doing, and if the CPU is sitting waiting for the RAM, the software just sees the CPU hasn't finished the frame yet, so it blames the CPU. So between the CPU, GPU and the RAM, who waited for whom? The CPU was waiting for the RAM. With the RAM slowly spinning at a steady pace, the CPU stopped sending instructions to the GPU. The GPU finished its last assigned task and then had nothing to do. So since no new frames were being sent to the monitor, the image stuttered. With my brother-in-law's specific CPU, the Ryzen 5 3600, it's uniquely sensitive to RAM speed, as you know with most AMD CPUs. And this has to do with a technology called Infinity Fabric, but I'm not going to get into that. So if you are having stuttering issues in Battlefield 6, you do have a AMD CPU and you haven't checked your RAM speed, I would check that first. If RAM speed isn't the issue, but you're still having stuttering, you can check out this other video here with some common tips on how to fix stuttering. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other suggestions on stuttering fixes and something that worked for you, please feel free to drop it in the comments. I'll see you guys on the next one.
Wala push-ups ya, 5 raw.